Bismillahirrahmanirrahim. I am Dr. Muhibbullah Wazir, and the topic is the nerve supply of the heart. Okay, the heart is being made up of heart muscles or myocardium, and the inner layer is the endocardium, and the outer layer is the the pericardium or the visceral layer of pericardium, which is called as the epicardium. It's with three layers: epicardium, then muscles, and then the inner endocardium. And outer to this is the parietal layer of pericardium and the fibrous pericardium. Okay, now the heart is being supplied by cardiac plexus. As I told you that all the viscera, internal viscera, is being supplied by plexuses, which are formed by sympathetic and parasympathetic. In the same way, the heart is also being supplied by the cardiac plexus, which is consists of sympathetic and parasympathetic. And the cardiac plexus are two in number. One is the superficial cardiac plexus, look, which this is ligamentum arteriosum. One cardiac plexus lies over here, superficial to the ligamentum arteriosum, that is being called as superficial cardiac plexus, and one cardiac plexus lies over here in the concavity of the arch of the aorta, just anterior to the bifurcation of the trachea, that is called as the deep cardiac plexus. Okay, you look over here, please. You look, make it clear. Look, this is the pulmonary trunk, this is aorta, this is ligamentum arteriosum. Is it clear? Very? And this is superficial cardiac plexus, while this is the trachea, and over here this is the deep cardiac plexus. Okay, both the superficial and deep cardiac plexus are being formed by branches from this vagus nerve, both the vagi and the recurrent radial nerve. These branches from the vagus and recurrent radial nerve that joins the cardiac plexus, superficial and deep both, these are parasympathetic in function. While the fibers from the sympathetic trunk, which comes over here and join the cardiac plexus, these are the sympathetic in function. Okay, and so the parasympathetic component is coming from the right and left vagus and right and left recurrent radial nerve, while the sympathetic component is coming from the three cervical ganglia of the sympathetic chain and the upper three or four thoracic ganglia of the sympathetic chain. Three cervicals, superior, middle and inferior cervical ganglion, and upper four thoracic ganglion branches descend downward to join the cardiac plexus. After the cardiac plexus is being formed, then branches originate from the cardiac plexus and reaches to the heart along with the blood vessels. And now these branches which originate from the cardiac plexus, each branch consists of sympathetic and parasympathetic both fibers. Okay, now the sympathetic and parasympathetic fibers functionally are different. Note the point. The sympathetic is cardio accelerator. It increases the heart rate, it increases the force of contraction of the heart, and when the heart is in more stress condition, then definitely it would need more blood supply, so the coronary vessels are being dilated by sympathetic. Sympathetic everywhere is vasoconstrictor, but over here at the heart, because sympathetic accelerates the heart and it increases force of contraction, that's why it causes vasodilatation of the coronary vessels. While the parasympathetic or vagus, it decreases the heart rate, it slows the heart rate, and it it constricts the coronary vessels, because at that time the heart do not need much more blood. And then these these nerves also supplies to SA and AV node. Okay, now this is the motor part of the cardiac plexus, while the cardiac plexus, both sympathetic and parasympathetic, also contains afferent fibers. What happens that the afferent fibers which are present in the parasympathetic component, that is in the vagus and recurrent nerve, they are being concerned with cardiovascular reflex. That is, it knows or it senses the blood pressure and the chemical analysis of the blood. It regulates in that way the cardiovascular phenomena. For example, if the blood pressure falls, it will increase the heart rate, or if, for example, the carbonation increases, then it will do accordingly. So that afferent, while the pain of the heart muscle and the blood pain of the heart vessels and the pain from the epicardium or visceral layer of the heart, that is being conveyed to the central nervous system by the sympathetic afferent. And that sympathetic afferent fibers travel through the sympathetic chain, and then it reaches to the thoracic and spinal cervical segment of the sympathetic chain, and ultimately being connected to the upper fourth thoracic segment of lateral horn of the spinal cord. And because of this reason, that the pain pathway follow through the thoracic and cervical part of the chain. The pain of the heart is being felt at the thoracic region, as well as at the top of the shoulder, as well as at the root of the neck, because the root value to this area and to the heart then comes from the same, that cervical region. While the pain from the fibrous pericardium and parietal layer of fibrous pericardium, that is being taken away by the phrenic nerve. Okay, and that phrenic nerve, that it is like somatic nerve, that it take the pain sensation from the fibrous pericardium and the parietal layer of serous pericardium. Okay, this is about the nerve supply of the heart. I hope you have got it.